What's up, guys? I hope you're having an excellent day. Today I wanted to dive into some ancient history, specifically the Force Wars of Tython. So get out your data pads and let's dive in. The seeds of the Force Wars of Tython were first planted in the years following the Despot War, a conflict which saw the armies of Queen Hydia pitted against the Jedi Order. Around the year 25,800 BBY, Jedi Master Dagon Locke and his companion Hawk Rio diverted from the conventional wisdom of the Order and went into what was known as the Chasm. The Chasm was located beneath the Anil Kesh Temple. It was a seemingly endless pit of Force energy in storms. It represented what the Jedi believed to be the embodiment of the Force itself. While in the chasm, the two received violent visions of an army of dark warriors wielding blades of what looked to be frozen fire, led by a being with one red eye. To counter this threat, they saw themselves leading the Jedi armies against the fearsome dark warriors. This Force vision subsequently drove Locke to the dark side of the Force, and he was brought before the Jedi Council. Unfortunately, they would not heed his vision and sent him to the moon of Bogan to find balance and renounce his vision. Dagon Locke lived out his exile in solitude, where he created various pieces of art picturing the blade of frozen fire. In 25,793 BBY, the Rakatan Infinite Empire invaded Tython. The Rakata had slowly been losing the control of the Force, and had hoped to use the Infinity Gate said to be on the Tython system. However, the Jedi repelled the initial invasion, and the forces of the Infinite Empire retreated to the Force world of Skagora. The Jedi then allied themselves with the settled worlds, those being the inhabited worlds surrounding the Tython system. Jedi Master Rajavari was then placed in command of the joint forces, and the Order began to construct Force Sabers. Force Sabers were the weapons wielded by the Rakata. They channeled dark side energy through a crystal similar, if not the same, as a Kyber crystal. The sabers were not able to be used through the power of Ashla, the light side, but the Jedi utilized the powers of both Ashla and Bogan, allowing them to power Force Sabers. The forces of the Jedi recalled Dagon Locke as they remembered his Force vision. Dagon Locke would lead them into battle as he had foreseen. While the Jedi had defeated the Rakatan Infinite Empire, a schism grew within the Order, between that of Dagon Locke's followers and the Jedi Council. These two groups became so divided that the Jedi who had once sought balance now leaned to one side or the other. The followers of Dagon Locke were defined by their belief in Bogan, the dark side of the Force, which tempted them with power, while the Jedi ideology became defined by Ashla, the light side of the Force, which granted them knowledge. Both groups began to clash, wielding their Force-imbued weapons, as well as the Bogan Jedi utilizing Force Sabers. The Force Sabers were not always the stronger weapon. Depending on the Force-imbued weapons the Ashla Jedi empowered, they could sometimes even break the Force Sabers. Under the leadership of the Jedi Council, the followers of Ashla reorganized into the Jedi Order. Unfortunately, the revered Master Rajavari would defect. His followers held up in Kalith, the Temple of Knowledge, before their defeat and death. A great cataclysmic force storm destroyed the biosphere of Tython, leaving it uninhabitable in the year 25,783 BBY. The few Bogan Jedi who survived fled to the Rim, as the Jedi boarded generation ships to pursue them. Eventually, the Jedi would settle on Ossus 730 years later. So concludes the Force Wars of Tython, a brief summary of the Jedi Order and the first conflict between the users of the light side and the dark side of the Force. While the ancestors of Tython sought peace and harmony through balance within the Force, its descendants would bring destruction and division, leaving the ideology of Bendu forever forgotten. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Tell me what you think of the Force Wars of Tython. Do you think the Jedi would have been better off if they kept balance, or do you think that eventually they needed to split into the two different orders? Let me know in the comments section below. Have an incredibly nerdy day, and may the Force be with you.